Hey everyone, it's another exciting week in Gundam Breaker Mobile, and it's not the most exciting week, but there ended up being a bunch of pretty hefty new content this week, and that's pretty exciting. So here's what's going on this week. There's a couple of cool things. Well, first things first, in terms of the polls, there's some interesting polls going on. We got the Quebly back and the Katoki Double Zeta, and this week only you can get them altered, which is good. Except you can only do it this week and it costs a hell of a lot of in-game money. And the only way to do it, even if you already have the parts, is to pull these new capsules once to get the unlock item. So that's bad. Now, I've already rented out the Double Zeta's Beam Saber, so I do want to pursue that. And also, I do already have the Quebly's legs, and the altered version is really good stat-wise for a shooter build. So I want to do that too. But I'm going to have to wait and see if I can get the in-game money together to pull it off. And also, if you do either of these pulls 5 times, which is a ton of money to waste, you'll get a guaranteed exchange ticket to pick out any part for the ZZ or the Quebly that you're missing. And other than that, the weekly suits this week are the Gundam Geminas, and a complete waste of time Technique Attribute version of the Extia that can't be altered. So enough about that. Anyway, the Gundam Geminas. This is the first suit we've ever gotten from G-Unit. That's right, the random Gundam Wing side story G-Unit, which as far as I know, retells pretty much a similar story to Gundam Wing, but in the same universe as Gundam Wing, and at the same time, but with completely different characters on the other side of the planet or something like that. Anyway, the Gundam Geminas 01 is pretty much nothing special. It's basically a Gundam Mark II clone, but it's got a ton of panel designs and it's a little bit over-designed. It's got a bad 1990s attitude. Anyway, moving on from that, the charity suit this week is the Gundam Astrea, which is a fan favorite from the manga Gundam OOP. And as far as I can tell, it's just a skinny prototype Gundam Exia. Now, it doesn't have any exceptional special abilities as far as I can tell. It's nice having it in the game for its place in history. And maybe its parts will come in handy for a kit bash somewhere down the line. Now, moving on from there, we have 2 brand new bingo boards again. As usual, the first one is to level up the Astrea to level 80, which is easy as long as you keep it in your in-game grinding team, and you're prepared to drop a little bit of in-game money on it to get it leveled up in time. Then the other one is a repeat of last week's 9 friend battle scoreboard, but in an interesting twist on that concept, this week Bandai has added these 3 friend battle bosses to try your luck against. And they're pretty tough, but you can beat them. So my melee main was able to humiliate all of them with no problem whatsoever, but you definitely should proceed with some amount of caution when fighting these guys. Now, there are great rewards for beating them, but you might also get rewarded just for fighting them, even if you lose. So here's a rundown of who they are. The first one, password number 1, is J26WV7XPB. His name is Mr. Pirate, and I say he's Mr. Pirate because he has a bizarre pirate-themed account, and most of his previous builds had a pirate theme to them. Now, this week he's playing it a little bit straighter than before, but he's still using a very Mr. Pirate color scheme. Anyway, he's put together a Gundam called the Gundam Leo Buster, but it has less than 1 million combat powers, so it's not a threat at all. Password number 2 is JNPCC0WLC. Now for the password, please make sure you put a 0 and not an O here. It's a 0, not an O. Anyway, this guy uses a red Astray plus Epion Kit Bash, and he uses a melee main with slightly over 1 million combat power and a melee attack of almost 40,000. Now you're going to want to take this guy down fast because if he gets warmed up, he's definitely going to overwhelm most players. And finally, password number 3, JQJSL8R6J. That's Bandai's main account, and this account has been very, very deadly in past encounters. Almost to the point where I would nickname this one Mr. Death. And this time around, it's rocking a build with a power level of over 15 million, so that's trouble. It was pretty strong, but it doesn't seem like it excels in one stat or another. So I want to say most builds should be able to handle it, but be careful, it is very, very strong. Lastly, in other news, the Perfect Strike Gundam multiplayer event is back for the week. And I strongly recommend that if you have time, you should play it at least 5 times every day to get a bunch of easy items and a bunch of easy money that can help you get through the battle circuit or to get altered parts or whatever else you need to do with your upgrades. Oh, and speaking of the battle circuit, they still have not updated or replaced the word tag battle circuit yet. So if you haven't finished it yet, I really recommend you to check out my deep dive video on how to beat it. It has some great strategies on finishing the entire circuit and lap by lap breakdowns for making a good build. This is the easiest battle circuit they've ever had, and it's a great chance to climb that mountain yourself and get all the sweet loot waiting for you at the top of it. Anyway, so that's Build Guide for the week. I was me, Buster Green. Thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe. I am so close to getting remonetized. I just need like 500 more subscribers and then I'm back in the clear and I can earn money to eat with again because I have no job and I'm starving. Okay, thank you people. Bye!